Look, we've looked pretty hard at the rise in anti-Semitism and hate speech since Hamas's October the 7th atrocity against Israel. Some Muslim clerics in Australia have been caught on tape describing Jews as monsters, as rats or as vile. But police say there's nothing they can do. They haven't breached hate speech laws. Here's a couple of examples.
To the invading Jews we say, by Allah, the day you will be kicked out of Palestine is coming. A day when the stones and the trees will speak and say, "Oh Muslim, there is a Jew behind me, come and kill him."
أهم صفة من صفات اليهود هي أنهم شعب متعطش لسفك الدماء ويفيضون منهم كالجرذان.
Well, now the country's peak Jewish body is taking matters into its own hands, lodging vilification complaints with the Human Rights Commission. Robert Goot SC is the Deputy President of the Executive Council of Australian Jewry. He's one of the complainants and he joins me now live from Sydney. Thanks for joining us, Robert. Why have you saw fit to take this action? What will the action claim and what could the consequences be?
Thank you, Chris. We've taken the action because the incendiary sermons, aspects of which you have just played, containing hateful, despicable, anti-Semitic tropes, can't go without being challenged. And in the absence of any prosecution under the criminal law in New South Wales, the Executive Council of Australian Jewry has instituted proceedings under the Racial Discrimination Act against two of the preachers and the organisations behind them. We've done that for two purposes. Firstly, to protect the honour of the Jewish community in light of the anti-Semitic statements, and secondly, to protect the fabric, the future fabric of Australian society. We regard these events and this conduct as undermining the social cohesion, the stability and the peace of what we have grown up with as a very successful multicultural society with different ethnicities and different faiths cooperating and living essentially peacefully together.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, Robert.
I'm sad to say, is a thing of the past.
Well, you're absolutely right. I've said this from the outset.
Australia anymore.
This is not about just the Jewish community being intimidated and threatened. This is absolutely an attack on the absolute thread of Australian multicultural society. But what about this? Let's have a look at what happened, of course, in early October last year at the Opera House. Gas the Jews, where's the Jews, death to the Jews. This was all chanted. It's very clear. Have you ever been given an explanation by police why nobody at that event was prosecuted for hate speech?
I understand that there was an issue about identification, and that's legitimate given that people wear head coverings, balaclavas and the like. It's difficult to identify them. I also understand that the police regarded some of the statements as not crossing the threshold of criminal conduct beyond reasonable doubt that exists under Section 93Z of the Crimes Act in New South Wales. That is the legislation that proscribes incitement to violence on the basis of race or religion.
Well, that's not good enough. That is not good enough. Robert?
No, because although initially it was thought it was gas the Jews, it now is where's the Jews, as if that's any better. But there was never any doubt that the F the Jews comment and chant was not made out of any amorous intent.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
It was hateful.
There's no doubt, whatever way you twisted it was hateful. Thanks very much, Robert. I appreciate it. Good luck with your action with the Human Rights Commission.